Hi, I'm Jada Underwood, and this presentation is titled "Lower the Rims." It's a microaggression toward women in WNBA specifically. Just a little background knowledge. So there's a constant debate regarding the disparity between women in sports, not only in media attention, but also in how female athletes are being paid and treated compared to men. And so the next slide we will get into immediately a well-known, very influential, prominent previous NBA figure who comments about what he believes would solve the issue regarding the disparity between men and women in the WNBA and their pay, along with their media attention, and so on and so on.
We gotta lower the rim. Stop it. If you want to make more money, let Caitlin go baseline and fingertip dunk. And then Angel, the way she do her layup like that, let her turn that wrist over one time and throw it down. Come on, man. We gotta lower the rim. Stop it. If
In
you want
that
to make
clip,
more
we
money,
hear
let
Shaquille
Caitlin go
O'Neal
baseline
stating
and
that
fingertip dunk.
in
And then
order for
Angel, the way she
women
do her
to
layup
get
like that, let her
paid
turn
the
that
amount
wrist over one
that
time and throw it
which
down. Come on, man.
they should be paid, they need to
We gotta
lower
lower the
the
rim.
rim from
Stop
12
it. If
feet
you want to make more money, let Caitlin go
to, I'm
baseline
assuming,
and
10,
fingertip dunk.
11
And then
feet,
Angel, the way
whatever.
she
Lower
do
the
her
rim
layup
so
like that, let
women
her
are
turn that
able to
wrist over
dunk
one time
at ease.
throw it down. Come on, man.
So, during this podcast,
We gotta
he
lower
is
the
with
rim.
Candace
Stop it.
Parker,
If you
who
want to
is a
make more money,
two-time
let
WNBA
Caitlin go
championship, very
baseline and
respected
fingertip
analysis,
dunk. And then
and she
Angel, the way
immediately
she do her
challenges this
layup like
idea.
that, let her
Yes, as
turn
you
that
see in
wrist
the
over
graph,
one
women
time
are
and
paid
throw it down. Come
at
on, man.
a low time rate compared
We
to
gotta
their
lower the rim.
NBA
Stop it. If you want
counterparts,
to make more money, let
where
Caitlin go
women are making
baseline
about
and fingertip dunk.
$70,000 on
And then
average
Angel, the way
in
she
the
do her layup
WNBA,
like that,
and
let
men
her
are
turn that
making
wrist over one time
$350,000
and
in
throw
their
it down.
first
Come on,
year.
man.
Candace Parker explained that
We gotta
changing the
lower the
rim
rim.
would
Stop
not
it.
only
If you
alter the
want to make
game,
more money,
right, as you
let
know, in
Caitlin
the
go
game of
baseline and
basketball,
fingertip
but it
dunk.
also
And
sent
then
a
Angel,
harmful
the way she
message
do
that
her layup
women
like that, let her
have to
turn that wrist
change
over
the
one
rules
time
in order to
and throw it
be
down. Come on,
respected.
man.
And so this short exchange
We gotta lower
demonstrated
the rim.
how
Stop it.
subtle
If you want to
comments
make
can
more money,
reinforce those
let Caitlin
stereotypes
go
about women's
baseline and
abilities,
fingertip dunk.
and
And
also
then
their
Angel,
worth
the
in
way she do
sports,
her layup like that,
even
let her
when
turn that wrist over one time and
Shaq's
throw it down. Come on,
intent
man.
wasn't malicious, right? If you watch the podcast, you would
We gotta
see
lower the
that
rim.
he was
Stop it.
all about
If
how
you want
much
to make
women were
more
making,
money,
and he
let
actually was
Caitlin go
like, "We need
baseline
to do
and
better."
fingertip dunk.
But
And
the
then Angel,
comment
the way she
regarding
do her
lowering the
layup like
rim,
that, let her turn that wrist over one time and throw
it
it down.
just
Come on, man.
didn't create a
We gotta lower the
solution,
rim.
but
Stop
it
it. If you want to make
was
more money, let
dismissive
Caitlin
in
go
regard
baseline
to
and
women's
fingertip dunk.
achievements.
And then Angel, the way
So moving on to the technical foul, getting into what type of microaggression this is, and out of the three main microaggressions that Sue talked about, this will be classified as a micro insult, which can be defined as a subtle statement or action that conveys rudeness or insensitivity towards someone's group identity. And the example, of course, was when Shaq said lowering the rim so women can dunk. It implies that women lack the ability compared to men, when in reality, women can dunk. And the impact of the statement, it basically undermines women's confidence. It perpetuates gender stereotypes, and it invalidates their accomplishments altogether of being a professional athlete. Like I talked about, even though I truly don't believe as a former woman athlete that Shaq's intentions were malicious. The suggestion places the blame on women for not meeting the entertainment standards that society has set that are based on men's performances. And so that kind of language in itself, it reinforces a long stereotype that women are less capable athletes versus men, and somehow is the sport of basketball, when compared to men and women, is a lesser form, if that makes sense. We learned that, I think one of the biggest things that stuck out to me with my readings and my videos this week was this ideal of cumulative microaggression stress. And so, as a previous woman athlete and just having friends that are in the WNBA and the NBA, right? Hearing those small comments repeatedly over time, I know it can definitely affect their self confidence, especially for women in the league who constantly hear that they're just not exciting because they can't dunk, right? It definitely plays a role in their not only in their mental health, but it also creates pressure for them having to prove themselves. And so, even though Shaq likely didn't intend to harm um, them and make the situation worse, that micro insult, um, it did more damage than he thought, you know. And so moving on, I want to hit on micro interventions. Time is moving really fast. I'm trying to keep up. So, in regarding the micro interventions, I do want to touch on the scripture that I thought worked really well with this was James 1:19, and that says everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. Um, and I think this verse in itself reminds us that wisdom involves listening and reflecting before we speak, which goes into the micro interventions specifically for this situation, educating Shaquille O'Neal on how his comment could hurt, right? When someone makes that comment of lowering the rim, it's an opportunity as women athletes to respectfully say, right, this is offensive and why this is offensive and how it undermines women's achievements. Secondly, sorry, I'm trying to keep up with time. Um, Organizations that have influence should promote um, those bias awarenesses and gender equity trainings for commentators and reporters. And then lastly, celebrating women for who they are and their skill rather than comparing them. And this video, I'm not going to play it, but there's dunks on it. There are women dunking. And so celebrating that and educating ourselves and say women can dunk, right? It may not look similar to the men, but they can dunk and it's entertaining. You know, these micro interventions are intentional actions that can help interrupt those biases and it educates others to show awareness. And instead of arguing, we get to give somebody truth, which helps reshape their perspectives with positivity and respect. And then just as we end, I did want to just touch on um, I think as a closing, I do want to say that people may feel like offering advice, right, is helpful. In this example of that microaggression, right, we learned in our book that um, the most harmful, the book in our video, right, but specifically in our video, sorry, that the most harmful microaggressions are when people don't realize that they're even committing them. And so making sure that we are being mindful and empathetic to people of different backgrounds and different genders and different walks of life is essential in ensuring that we not only created a more inclusive culture, but we create a space for everybody from athletes to students to teachers to coworkers where everybody feels heard and seen and they're not offended because we're promoting differences and we're promoting what they are doing rather than their differences. These are my references. And thank you guys. I appreciate you.